In this lecture, we are going to learn about multiples and submultiples of SI units. And we are going to start with a very simple conversion. You're familiar with this simple conversion. In 1 meter, we have 100 centimeters. Another simple conversion that you know is that in 1 centimeter, there are 10 millimeters. Therefore, in 1 meter, there are 1,000 millimeters. This is a very simple conversion, and you're familiar with this. So in terms of increasing magnitude between 1 meter, 1 centimeter, and 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter is the smallest, followed by 1 centimeter, and then the largest is 1 meter. That is, if we were to arrange 1 millimeter, 1 centimeter, and 1 meter in terms of increasing size. In fact, there are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter and 100 centimeters in 1 meter. All this is shown in a meter rule. The length of a meter rule is 1 meter. In that meter rule, we've got 100 equal divisions. Each division is 1 centimeter. So it confirms that 100 centimeters makes 1 meter. Now in 1 centimeter, we've got 10 smaller divisions, and each division is 1 millimeter. So this is where we are going to start our discussion from before I move to other conversion units. If 10 millimeters make 1 centimeter, then 1 millimeter is equal to how many centimeters? At this point, you can do what is popularly referred to as cross multiplication. So you're going to multiply 1 times 1 centimeter. So you're going to get this 1 millimeter. Multiply it by 1 centimeter. And then all that, you're going to divide by 10 millimeters. So when you look at the units, the millimeters are going to cancel with millimeters, and we are going to be left with 1 times 1 gives me 1, and then there is divide by 10, and then the units will be centimeters. And this will give me 0.1 centimeters. In other words, 1 millimeter is equal to 0.1 centimeters. So it is not enough to know that 10 millimeters is equal to 1 centimeter. You can be asked, how many centimeters are in 1 millimeter? Similarly, we know that 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. So how many meters is equal to 1 centimeter? So 1 centimeter is going to be equal to 1 centimeter. Again, we do cross multiplication. 1 centimeter times 1 meter. You divide all this by 100 centimeters. Again, over here you can see that the centimeters cancel out, and I'm left with 1 times 1. I have 1 over 100, and the units are meters. And this gives me 0.01 meters. In other words, 1 centimeter is equal to 0.01 meters. So this type of conversion is very, very simple to understand. Just like I'd like you to show that 1 millimeter is the same as 0.001 meters. You can follow the same method and be able to show this. At this point, let's move to the units of area. The SI unit of area is square meters. Now, suppose we are given a square. The length of this square is 1 meter and the width is 1 meter. And you are required to calculate the area. The area is given by length times width. This will be equal to 1 meter times a width of another 1 meter. And we are going to get the area being 1 square meters. Now, how does this come about? 1 times 1 is 1. Meters times meters is square meters. This too means that the meter has been multiplied by itself twice. Meters times meters, 2 times. And we read this as square meters or meters squared. Now the same area can be given by this length here is 100 centimeters because we have just seen that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So instead of writing 1 meter, I'm going to write 100 centimeters. This other 1 meter is 100 centimeters. And this is going to give us 100 times 100, I get 10,000 centimeters times centimeters gives me centimeters squared. So I can express this area either in square meters or centimeters squared. Let's go on and see what we get from this. Now remember, area is a measure of surface. We are talking about the same area. So this area is 1 square meters. The same area is 10,000 centimeters squared. So we can make this conclusion that 1 meters squared is equal to 10,000 centimeters squared. Because we are basically talking about the area of the same object or the area of the same surface. This area is 1 square meters. The same area is 10,000 centimeters squared. Therefore, we come up with this conclusion here. Many times when students are required to convert from square meters to centimeters squared or vice versa, they always make a mistake of just recalling that 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeters. That one is not enough. For example, if you are given an area, let's say another area, area 2 being equal to 5 meters squared, and you're asked, convert this into centimeters squared. The best way of doing this is to recall that since 1 square meter is equal to 10,000 square centimeters, then 5 meters squared is equal to, again here, you can cross multiply. You can say is equals to 5 meters squared this one, times 10,000 centimeters squared. And then you divide all these by 1 meter squared. At this point, you will see that the square meters cancel out and you are left with the centimeters squared. And your answer becomes 50,000 centimeters squared. This is how you will do this kind of conversion. But many times when students are given this, after some time, the only thing they remember is that 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeters. And they think that they can multiply 5 by 100, in which case they are going to get 500, which is not the correct answer. So remember this conversion unit here, a very important conversion unit, that 1 square meters is equal to 10,000 centimeters squared. Now let's look at millimeters. Now let us express this area in millimeters squared and see what we are going to get. So I have the same shape. It doesn't look like a square, but I want you to just imagine that this one is a length of 1 meter and the width is again 1 meter. And we say that the area in meters squared is 1 meter times 1 meter, and we get 1 meters squared. Now in terms of millimeters, we are going to recall that 1 meter is equal to 1,000 millimeters. The other 1 meter is again 1,000 millimeters. This will give me 1 million millimeters squared. And since we are talking about area of the same surface, I can say that since the area of this surface is 1 meter squared and the area of the same surface is 1 million millimeters squared, it follows that 1 meters squared is equal to 1 million millimeters squared. Very, very important. Now there is something else here that I want us to familiarize ourselves with. Now I can start with 1 million millimeters squared being equal to 1 meter squared, and then I want to express 1 millimeters squared into meters squared. Again, at this point we can cross multiply 1 millimeters squared times 1 meters squared, divide all that by 1 million millimeters squared. At this point, you will see that millimeters squared cancel out, and I'm left with 1 over 1 million, and then the units which I'm left with is meters squared. You can see how including the units in my calculation makes everything fall into place. There isn't much struggle in what I am doing, because when I write this magnitude here, I include the unit. When I multiply it with this one, I also include the unit. When I divide by a magnitude whose units is the same as this unit here, they will naturally cancel out, and then I'm left with this unit there. Of course, I can write this one as a decimal, 0 point. Now my number is going to have 6 decimal places, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th one, that is where we write the 1 meters squared. And therefore, I end up saying that 1 millimeter squared is equal to 0.000001 meters squared. Now, this is not a different conversion unit from this. You just need to remember one of them. In fact, I would recommend that you remember this. 1 million millimeters squared is equal to 1 meters squared. And you can be able to convert from one unit of area into the other. Now, I'd like you to use the same method and show me that 1 centimeters squared is equal to 100 millimeters squared. Just pause the video and show me this one. Now let's look at the units of volume. At this point, I'm going to use a cuboid, which is definitely a cube because all the sides are equal. The length, the width, and the height, each one of them is 1 meter. So we're going to have this length being 1 meter. The width is 1 meter. And the height is again 1 meter. So that if I want to calculate its volume, I will do length times width times height. Notice that the length times width is area of the base. Over here, I've got this base here. This is the base that I'm talking about. The length times the width. It's the area of the base. So when I get the base area times height, I find the volume of this cuboid. Now the length is 1 meter. The width is another 1 meter. And the height is 1 meter. 1 times 1 times 1 gives me 1. Meters times meters times meters gives me cubic meters or meters cubed. This is m raised to power 3, meaning meters times meters times meters, 3 times. Now the same volume, this 1 meter is 100 centimeters. This other 1 meter is another 100 centimeters. And this 1 meter is the next 100 centimeters. 100 times 100 times 100 gives me 1 million. And then centimeters times centimeters times centimeters gives me centimeters cubed. Now at this point, I think you know what I want to do next. I have worked out the volume of this cube in meters cubed. I've worked out the volume of the same cube in centimeters cubed. And because we are talking about the same shape, then the volume of this cube in meters cubed is equal to the volume of the same cube in centimeters cubed. That means that this 1 meter cubed is equal to 1 million centimeters cubed. So 1 meter cubed is equals to 1 million centimeters cubed. So this is how you can convert volume from meters cubed into centimeters cubed. For example, let us say you are given a volume of, let's say, 5 centimeters cubed, and you are asked convert it into centimeters cubed. What will be this value here? You can pause the video and give me the answer. Okay, let's look at what we expect. Since we are converting centimeters cubed into meters cubed, or rather I meant this value here should be in meters cubed, not centimeters cubed. Just correct your working there. I wanted you to convert 5 centimeters cubed into meters cubed. Now, since we are converting centimeters cubed into meters cubed, I will start by reversing this expression. I will start by writing that 1 million centimeters cubed is equals to 1 meter cubed. I always like my unknown to be on my right rather than being on this side, because we always write from the left hand side to the right hand side. So we start from here and end here. So if our knowns are on this side and our unknowns on the other side, then it becomes good writing. We don't have to write something here and then we come this way. This is what I mean. This is 1 million centimeters cubed, and I want to convert 5 centimeters cubed into meters cubed. You can see my cross multiplication goes to the right because this is where my unknown is. This is where my question mark is. So instead of writing the question mark, I'm going to say 5 centimeters cubed times 1 meter cubed. All this I'm going to divide by 1 million centimeters cubed. And just like before, you will see the centimeters cubed will cancel out, and my answer will be 5 times 1, I get 5, divide by 1 million, and the remaining unit is meters cubed. And this will be 0. My number is going to have 6 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 meters cubed. So the correct answer here will be 0.12345 meters cubed. So at this point, I'd like you to show that 1 centimeters cubed is the same as 0.12345 meters cubed. So just pause the video and show me this. Okay, let's now look at the same volume of the same cuboid, but this time in millimeters cubed. So I have the same cube, and it's got a length of, again, 1 meter, a width of 1 meter, and a height of 1 meter. We've been able to show that this volume in meters cubed will be equal to length times width times height. The length is 1 meter, the width is 1 meter, and the height is 1 meter. Now 1 meter in millimeters is 1000 millimeters. The other 1 meter is 1000 millimeters. And this 1 meter is another 1000 millimeters. And this will be equal to 1 billion millimeters cubed. In future, we shall see how we write this in standard form instead of writing all these zeros, because we can easily make a mistake. It's supposed to be meters cubed. Now when I multiply 1 meter times 1 meter times 1 meter, I usually get 1 meters cubed. So this means that 1 meter cubed is equal to 1 billion millimeters cubed. Now it follows that 1 millimeters cubed is equal to 0.123456789 meters cubed. So this conversion unit is important. But like I said, you just need to remember one of them, and I would recommend this. So we've been able to show that 1 meter cubed is the same as 1 million centimeters cubed, and the same 1 meter cubed is equals to 1 billion millimeters cubed. At this point, because we are talking about the same physical quantity or the same magnitude of volume, 1 meter cubed being equal to that, again 1 meter cubed is equal to that, it follows that this 1 million centimeters cubed is equals to 1 billion. You can see how difficult it becomes when it comes to writing all those zeros. It becomes that this is the same. If I divide both sides by 1 million, I'm going to get that 1 centimeters cubed is equal to 1000 millimeters cubed. And this is another way of showing 1 centimeters cubed is equals to 1000 millimeters cubed. Now let us make a summary here. In terms of length, we've been able to show that, or rather, we know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, and the same 1 meter is equal to 1000 millimeters. And we also know that the same 1 centimeter is equals to 10 millimeters. We can obtain it from here, because if 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeters and 1 meter is equals to 1000 millimeters, then it follows 100 centimeters equals to 1000 millimeters. And when we divide both sides by 100, we find that 1 centimeter is equals to 10 millimeters. This is as far as length is concerned. When it comes to area, we've been able to show that 1 square meter is equals to 10,000 centimeters squared, and the same 1 square meter is equal to 1 million millimeters squared. And from here, of course, we can use the same technique here and be able to show that 1 centimeters squared is equal to 100 millimeters squared. When it comes to volume, 1 meters cubed is equal to 1 million centimeters cubed, and the same 1 meters cubed is equal to 1 billion millimeters cubed. Using the same idea, we can be able to show that 1 centimeters cubed is equal to 1000 millimeters cubed. And these are the conversion units that I'd like you to recall. If you cannot recall them, that is, if you cannot remember them the way they are, then the best thing is to derive them. You can always use either a square or a cube to derive the units of each one of them, provided you remember that 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeters and the same 1 meter is equals to 1000 millimeters, or 1 centimeter is equals to 10 millimeters. Provided you remember these values here, then you can be able to derive the others. And this is how we would be able to convert meters into centimeters and into millimeters, or meter squared into centimeter squared and into millimeters squared, and vice versa, and also from meters cubed to centimeters cubed to millimeters cubed, or from millimeters cubed to meters cubed or to centimeters cubed. Any one of them is possible. What I'd like you to remember are these conversion units. They are very, very important. If there is anything to review just before an exam, it is these conversion units, because you can use them at any one point to get either length, area, or volume when you're required to convert it from one unit into another unit.